I don't get it. Spending that much time on a 1-minute little film.
Yeah.
All that hassle, all that work.
Crazy, right?
It says here that just to get this to the screen, he had to learn like different softwares and shit. Fuck, imagine the struggle.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure I can prompt that with AI right now.
Yeah, like it almost seems like he did this for fun.
So one day I was just strolling down the streets of Oslo and I saw this like weird freestanding scaffold. It immediately kind of caught my eye because it was so tall. It was just a great silhouette. I remember thinking to myself, I need to use this. So today I'll take you on that journey of my newest piece called Ascend. That's a big name for a small film. So I've been longing to do a 3D project for a long time. I feel like it really pushes me out of my comfort zone. And oh boy, this project did exactly that. And as soon as that inspiration kind of struck me, I hopped into Blender and I started to kind of build a scene. I wanted it to feel kind of like out of place. I was looking at a lot of monolithic references, like massive kind of imposing forms of strange things in desolate environments, basically. I really like that vibe. And for the landscape, I came up with this rocky, dark surface. And I really like that from afar, it kind of looks like a freeze-framed ocean. It kind of looks like waves. And although I kind of pushed the realism out of the door with that move, I still kind of love how it turned out. It looked kind of alien or, you know, from another planet. It doesn't have to be realistic, you know. If you like it, you like it, I think. All right, so I love jumping headfirst into things that I know nothing about, absolutely nothing. And I kind of knew that creating my character would be exactly that. I've always kind of avoided character work. It looks really hard, and it is. But after messing around for a while, I finally had my character. I ended up just going for the basic Genesis male that you get in DAZ 3D, but I had one problem. The facial animation. And the only thing that I could come up with was that I'm gonna make a hoodie that is so big that it'll just cover his face. I kind of stuck with that and moved on. But how do I fucking, like, no. So there was no way that I was gonna hand animate my character. Not a chance. That's one of the things that you can kind of like sink in maybe 10,000 hours on and still be bad. But then I found something. Move AI, motion capture with your iPhone camera. Can you imagine? And you know what? All of a sudden I was like doing mocap in my tiny apartment, and I even realized my baggy pants were messing up with the AI's ability to interpret where my legs were going. So I had to put on some tight shorts. Believe it or not, when I did that, it kind of worked. It felt really weird, but it was also kind of fun. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like the mocap data came out a little bit jaggy. It wasn't perfect, but I couldn't even imagine myself trying to hand animate all this. Yeah, no thanks. Keep in mind, like, we're 2 months kind of into the project right now. Things are taking time, and now it's time to learn clot simulation in Marvelous Designer. And let me just say, right off the bat, this software is so smooth. It's so satisfying. The way you can just fiddle with the clothes and just watch the simulation kind of unfold in real time, it feels nice. I wonder if you can do this with like VR goggles. And once you have those clothes on your character, you can't help but just feel that everything is coming together. It's like right there. But also, you know, there's a long way to go. But I went for a hoodie paired with some leather pants. As to why I did that, I have no idea. I just thought it looked cool. So now that all of the assets are built, it's time to make everything come to life. Like, this is the fun part for me, and probably the reason why I picked up 3D in the first place, because now I get to explore as a filmmaker. I get to set up my camera and I just try stuff. No one can tell you if you want that camera up on that crane, it's gonna take 30 minutes. The sun is going, we need to be quick. Are you really sure you want that shot? Oh, You pray to God that it looks good. But here you can just like in 2 seconds go up there. God, this looks terrible. Let's get down from here and find another angle. It's like having some sort of superpowers. It's just the best thing ever. I find animation to be very planned out, storyboarded every single shot. And once you get to editing, it's not really a big of a deal. It's like self-explanatory. And to be honest, not really that fun. I wanted to approach it more like a music video. And since I had long mocap animations that lasted maybe like 15 seconds, I could create these kind of longer shots and figure out the best moments when I got to editing. And once I started working like this, I really enjoyed it. It gave me so much more freedom to explore, and whenever I found a cool angle, I would just like, okay, that's a shot, chuck it out. Another big thing for me was grounding the camera in reality. I spent a lot of time thinking about how a camera really moves. A crane can only swing so fast, a handheld shake feels a certain way, and I wanted to kind of mimic that. I'm not saying like that's the right way to do digital camera animation. It's really just up to preference and up to taste. This is what I like. When people do this, I really appreciate it. So pretty much for all my shots, I rendered out like viewport renders in solid mode in Blender. If it worked, it stayed. If not, I just threw it away. Doing it this way, I didn't have to wait for like Eevee or Cycles renders just to see if a shot fit into the edit. And I was just jumping back and forth between Blender and Premiere, and it was just a lot of fun actually. And it's really nice to be happy and have great life quality and all that, but when the edit was done, I made the genius decision to render everything in 4K.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Not at all. I would never do it again. It just took so much time. Anytime I wasn't actively working on my computer, I was rendering. And this, I think it went on for a solid month. And once the renders were coming in, I was like, we're finally in the clear. No new software. I don't have to learn anything. I mean, like, I was starting to see the fucking door. You know, the door from Gladiator? We were there. You know, this was it. The finish line is right there. But of course, I had to. And I decided that I was going to learn compositing in Nuke. Because why not? Learning Nuke was a real challenge for me. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but it's like I had to rewire my brain in a sense. Because coming from layers in like After Effects, there's nothing like that in Nuke. It's all nodes. But the flexibility was a game changer for me. Way more than I thought. All the clouds that you see in the first 2-3 shots, that's all 2D cards in Nuke. And I was so pumped when I managed to do that. I was like screaming. Although I'm still very much a beginner in Nuke, it's crazy to think that even on my level, I could never even imagine myself compositing CG in After Effects ever again. Like, not a chance. It just screams that this is what it was made for. And if you're in that same boat that I was, just try it out. Once you get over that first little knuckle, you're gonna be so glad that you did it. When it comes to color grading, I'm no expert at all, but I really enjoy it. I gravitated towards something a little bit more teal, moody. I guess you can say I kind of went for a film look. There's some film emulation in there, but I feel like that term, like film look, is just thrown out everywhere nowadays. To be honest, like, what the hell is a film look? A film look can be a million different looks, and I focus a lot more on making it feel cohesive and flow together. Of course, there's shots that you are really happy with, and then there's shots that you don't necessarily love, but that's the game. That's the game. I have hacked my way through this, and honestly, I feel like all sorts of filmmaking is like that. You have to figure out clever solutions, because if you don't, you'll most likely not be able to finish. And it's just about, you know, hitting that ball forward and eventually coming out the other side, actually in another year, equipped with a new Swiss knife, it feels like. And the process of just creating for fun, creating for the sake of creating, is something that I think I've been longing for a long time. And this was once a hobby that became work. And I think that it's really important to keep it a hobby as well. And if you want to join that journey, consider subscribing. I want to fill up this channel with a lot of pieces like this, a lot of art, a lot of films. And I want to say thank you for watching. And if you're coming along, then I'll see you in the next one.